Guys, I just hit record with my toe. I know, it's amazing. Can you guess what I am? Give up? I'm a beatnik burrito. That's right. Got this here tortilla blanket for Christmas. Delicious and cozy. It's amazing. I just filmed all this shit, and you know what? My phone completely died and said, your storage space is used up 100%. Do you know the only reason I bought the kind of phone I have? Because it claimed that it had unlimited storage. It's fun. I like it. It's a good time. On track with that thematic thinking. I am feeling pretty weird tonight. Having weird vibes. Gonna keep it real strange. I have had a 3-day long excessive eye and eyebrow twitch. My whole eyelid and eyebrow just going mental. It's been a delight. Had to go out into the world today and everybody was like drag racing and being dicks and screeching around and being crazy. Also just the like bombardment of baffling reality, if you want to call it that. Although I'm officially convinced that we're like on the Star Trek holodeck. But that's my 2 cents. Anyway, so I'm doing some weird stuff tonight. Doing this style of poetry that I like to believe I invented. I think it's like my thing. Even though there's like billions with a B people in the world. So probably someone else is doing something like this. But I like to think I created it. So, as you know, I'm a Luddite. I'm afraid of tech. Hence the storage debacle. And I clung on to my like slider keyboard phone with the buttons for so long, like up until about probably 3 years ago. Then I got my first smartphone, which was like the dinosaur OG, not fancy, no frills, Samsung. And I discovered the swipe. So subsequently, the only other phone I've had is my one that just died. This is my boyfriend's phone. But yeah, I had to have the swiper. That was my only requirement, is that swipe be in the tech, in the robot brain. Because when I had my OG smartphone, I invented swipe poetry. So it was kind of like a little game. It's a little high-risk game where I would go into my text box, and so I would like choose the person that I was thinking about, and then I would go in to compose a text to them, and I would just start swiping wild, and this poem would just evolve. And so yeah, it's like I don't give full credit to the robot, because I think that, you know, it's my fingers. It's the magic of my fingertips too. Like if it was someone else, the words would be completely different. The poetry would be totally another realm, right? But yeah, so it was like high octane adventure, because you know, a little text box, the sendy arrow is so close to like the texty box. So there's this total possibility that you could hit send at any minute. And it was wild. Any of you out there who have been lucky enough to receive one of these text poems may know that they're always so bafflingly related to the person that they're about. Like it's spooky, it's freaky. Like I had a crush many moons ago, long in the days of yore, on a friend of mine, and he played Edgar Allan Poe in a play. And I was doing a swipey poem for him, and like one of the lines was, Poe would say it darkly. And then he also used to do this thing where he would sit outside in the cold or in the snow and try to meditate warmth internally outward. And one of the lines in the swipey poem was, Zen warmth manifestation. I was like, yeah. Totally. There was a friend of mine who was very vain and would often tell the same stories many, many, many times. And I was kind of mad at her, and I wrote one that was like, Muffet in mirror, repetitive. And I was like, yes, very much so, very much so. There's a bunch of them. The eye twitch, you know. It's hard to think. And if I seem a little squinty, that's why. It's not because I'm high. I may well be, actually probably will be for many of these, but I'll tell you when I am. This one's just stress and anxiety and madness. But, oh, there was another friend I had a crush on who was in a play about a movie theater worker, and one of the lines was, movie sticky soda floor. I was like, how do you know me, phone? But now we're fighting, obviously, because it just screwed me over. I almost got through this entire poem, and it was like, bzz, storage full, bitch. Love it. Love that costs like $1,000. Anywho, so last night I was up until like 3 in the morning, and those are when the best text poems come. Like usually when you're doing these, open up the person's text box, you gotta do it at like between the hours of 1 and 3 in the morning. So it's like super bizarre, super weirdo if they get it, you know, if you accidentally hit send, that they're like, what the fuck is it? What? Do these words even make sense? So this particular one was not in keeping with the game because it wasn't in a text box. But if I do it not as a text, I like to kind of, you know, imagine beforehand what it's about, or sort of create the vibe in my mind before I start wildly swiping. I also have to give my sweet boo, my loving, wonderful honey, some credit because so the title of this poem is the only part of it that is not swipe improvised. And it was like this morning he was talking about like Rudy Giuliani and all dumps goons and them being crazy, and talking about it in terms of like old school dueling, like I challenge you to a duel with the gloves and everything, only like way more idiotic. And he used the word besmirched. And I was like, damn, that's a juicy one. I want to masticate that in my mouth. Besmirched. That is excellent vocabulary. So yes, used besmirched in the title, and that is the only part that isn't just wild swiping of the universe. But when I was kind of directing the tech where to take the poem, sort of the themes I was thinking of are all of this horrible head-spinning nonsense that's going on, and the battle for democracy and battle for sanity. And so you'll hear some of those themes emerge. And the way you can tell that this didn't just like come from me is I didn't even know what some of these vocab words were. So I had to research them, and I will explain a few of the words I looked up because it was really good stuff. Great word worship. So anyway, here we are. Here we go. This poem, this swipey masterpiece, is called Besmirched Search. Banshee batch bucko, fearful broadening, feral bass ackwards cannon execution, desirous band-aid cell call barbital until feels warm, velvet beginner, buffoon recital, libido beatnik, creek season, crown icebox, gadzooks definitions, media nugget, reassess again, brazing muddy mob, fatso junkyard, mindless decision, mansion, museum mumbling, imminent decisions, backstories recap between manic, needful, buku hesitation, decathlon weaving, crazy catching crossbow destruction, bragging microchip commission, refusal brushing, watchable warehousing, makeshift vaccine, beseeching nutty meteors, largest wad, advise criminal network metal, babysitter frequencies, kiddo fast-booted, reservists verify Starbucks bullshit bikinis, Vesuvius declining, boob decarboxylation, buff stuff butt bonus, McChicken muffin, pagan visual deal, mineral mindful nugs, nicer music, bravo, ownership order preparation, breeze, better keen buzzing, breaching kindly breeders, overnight monarch, Lululemon beach body, searching nyctalopia, cranial bubblegum, gradual organic non-robot, brain creativity, ching, marathon rubbish, goddess hairstyles, mysticism de-evolving, seasick discovery, recital bisexual, useful, rewarding, oddish, wrathful database, muscular, needy, deep breathing, brisk, budding whisper, peach tree searching vessel, watcher needful, nudism, breathtaking reason, miniseries landfill, passport errand cuff, nibble lockdown, gradualism, residual prism, longevity. Yeah. It's like, dang, phone, if I wasn't so mad at you, I'd kiss you. Like, gradualism, residual prism. I did not make that up. I wish that I did. I mean, I did in conjunction with my phone, but like, whoa, dog, that's deep. That shit just came from my finger, swiping wildly. And I try to like not even look at the screen. But the cool thing too is when you're doing the swipey-do, which I don't know how you could live without it, it gives you like 4 or 5 options for the word. It's like you can choose this, 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 or this. So that keeps it interesting. But it's amazing. It's really a miracle to me that this action can create this wonderment. By the way, I didn't become a hardened criminal overnight. Don't worry, it's a star, not a teardrop. But yeah, so I had to like research some of this shit. And it's great verbiage, y'all. So I had to look up nyctalopia, which is the inability to see in dim light or at night. Whoa, great word. I had to look up decarboxylation, which is the process that activates compounds in cannabis, such as THC. Far out. Nudism, I kind of could have guessed this one, but great word for me because I'm totally a nudist at heart. But nudism is the practice of going nude, especially in sexually mixed groups and during periods of time spent at specially secluded places. Super duper. I know what the word gadzooks is, or I mean, I use it in my like early 1900s old man lingo, which I use a lot. But I liked looking up gadzooks, because it's like Dickens uses it in Nicholas Nickleby. We won't accuse Dickens of gadzookery, the bane of historical fiction, as historical novelist John Vernon once called it, because we assume people actually said gadzooks back in the 1830s. It's also referred to as an interjection archaic, so ancient, archaic. Also used as a mild oath. Didn't know that one. An exclamation of surprise, contempt, and delight, almost always uttered following a fortuitous suggestion, good idea, or knowledge from one who you previously believed to be your inferior. So specific. So the example they used was from Peter Pan. Smee says, "Why don't you keep Tiger Lily alive to use as bait to catch Peter Pan?" And Captain Hook says, "Gadzooks, Smee!" And that was bizarre because I was literally researching that word and my mom was trying to find a lid for Tupperware and she used Island of Lost Boys as a curse word. Like she couldn't get the Tupperware lids to fit because they never do. And she was like, Island of Lost Boys, like it was a curse word. And I was looking up this shit about Smee and Captain Hook. How weird is that? I can't even piece it all together. So yeah, those are the words I had to look up. And thanks for being with me, guys. I'm just your average, ordinary, weirdo, beatnik burrito. And I love y'all, something fierce. I'm so glad you were here with me. Hopefully I get this in before midnight. But you know what? Like, midnight 30, that still counts as the same day. Day 10. You're with me. You're on my side. We're doing it. Day 10, my friends. So keep swiping. Keep being kind to yourselves and others. And I'll be back with more oddities of my brain tomorrow. Much love. Good night.